The elders want to express that this is exactly as was anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
In many aspects, but yes, the free will was wielded with a great strong arm. It's a very it's very difficult to speak about for the humans on what is transpiring because there is a great sadness within many dynamics, and we are hearing the yells of wanting us to step in. But it is not ours to change. We are the support system. God cannot come and change this for you. These are the missions many of you knew, even though you had forgotten. Ezra is reminding me of the desire on Little One on how to progress.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as there is great turmoil and we could bring many messages of comfort within for today, for the world of today, we're going to move away from it and remain within the focus of within the mission we set out. The elders are in agreement about this. The reason that we came forward and began all of this work, and not just with this channel, but with many channels, was because of the polarization that was coming within your world. This, in order for all of the changes to take a root within the various societies and not just one, because we are not about just one, we are about all. Understanding that your life took great integration in the work process, in forming it, in choosing it, in the supports surrounding you, not just within the physical realms, but within the spiritual realms as well, is to assist you in knowing that each of you is valued. No one is less than another, not one in any country, not one in any faith, but that every living creature within the earth realm has a soul, has a purpose for being, has a commonality that breaches all barriers that you create in your societies, in your individual beliefs, in your personal opinions. From our perspective, every one of you that walks and talks and lives and breathes is valued. It is why you are there. It is why we all took such great lengths to assist you in providing a life that would give you all experiences that you wish to not only immerse yourself into, but also immersing all of your participants into. We would hope that those who read the information that we've provided will begin to find a peace in themselves of their own life in turmoil, their own experiences, and be able to take this information and begin to apply it to every interaction in their lives. You see, because once you acknowledge and accept that this is bigger than all that you have understood before, you will begin to look from another's perspective in a more open, wide range of acceptance and compassion. It is not just you that the world has gone into chaos for, but is in chaos so that all of you will be able to rebuild, bring in new ideas, new innovations, especially in order for the human to continue to evolve in your societies, to move into the next phase of development that will serve all souls on a higher collective level. It not only serves your world, but it serves us as the collective. And as you, in many of your faiths, have, it serves God as you need to hear it. Source is continuing to grow and expand, with or without the human interaction. But you as humans cannot grow and expand without your divinity. And I refer to the divinity that lives within each of you, that lives here at home, and that is always connected to Source. The changes. It is up to you in how those changes occur. We will not stop you from moving towards destruction. That is the ability of your free will. But understand that there are always multiple potentials in how each of you within body incarnated choose to move and work with the energy, choose and move with your friends, your neighbors, your other physical human interactions are what can change all directions and all potentials that are in motion. Again, I will repeat from the elders that they do remind you, it is not for us to interfere, but it is for us to support you, guide you when you ask. But again, it is your adventure. We know there are other questions in regards to how we may interact or not interact. And we would express that we are always interacting and assisting without interfering with your free will, but we will not do the work for you. You are the ones who chose. You are the warriors and you are the angels that chose these roles for all that you would be able to provide not only to yourself, but to all of humanity and the spiritual collective. The more that you understand how taking your life role on begin to value yourself, and it will allow you to begin to value other people in which you feel so far away from, so disconnected from, to realize that no matter what role you are playing, no matter what role, country, color, it doesn't matter. Because inside, you are all the same. You all did the same thing when you were at home, choosing who you were going to be and what dynamic and what country and what ethnicity. All of those factors you put into motion so that you could be the best participant for the role and area of change that needs to happen. We would also remind you that this is a time in order for all of you in body to acknowledge that both the light and the dark are needed. One should not be more than the other, but they should be in balance, because that is part of the experience of the incarnation. Duality serves you to help you to understand and grow from that which you do not know. And we would also say to you, it is not only the light and the dark that need to be balanced within your realm. The man and the woman, male and female, there has been a long struggle of balance, of power and control. And this no longer serves humanity on a whole, which is why many of you are taking such polarized positions to assist that wave to find a neutrality. We would speak to the light worker and remind them that you are the ones who know, who have lived many lives, understanding all of the deepest and darkest forms of separation, of division. And you also have been the ones doing the work of learning that there is no division unless you allow it and create it within your physical realm, that it is your choices that divides you or brings you together. And we would remind you all to bring the bridges between each other on the most basic and simple levels into reality and into the focus. Using your compassion and your empathic abilities at this period of time is a huge asset. Many of you have struggled for many years in using your empathy. Your empathic abilities have been hammered. And you learned how to use boundaries. You learned how to use protections. You learned how to begin to decipher what is yours and what is someone else's. And now it is time for you to take those abilities into the next level of being able to understand all perceptions from other views, because you, with the empathic abilities, are now able to feel on every level of your being what another is experiencing. And that is a value that you did not understand before, as you will begin to understand it so much more in the years, the days, the months that you are moving into. This is a great period of conflict, and this is also a great period of change. And we would remind you, this is also a great period of compassion. That is your armor, you see. That is where all that you chose for the person that you are, to be forefront and center within this world, in your community and in your individual families, to be able to show that it does not just mean reading the headline. It doesn't mean just understanding your faith or understanding your soul's journey, but it is now about understanding one another in ways that you have not breached before. Little One has been reminding about telling your stories, sharing your stories, the stories of this time, of this incarnation, and those of past. You have many generations to draw from. You have more souls in body on your planet right now that can share such a broad range of feelings, of emotional turmoil and rejoices, that can remove all walls of division amongst you if you just open the door or crack the window to the other physical beings around you. And does this answer more of how understanding choosing your life, the complacency of staying within only the individual journey, is now being challenged to expand into actually seeing the neighbors, the small community into the global community? And it has been very long coming. All of you have been working very hard to bring this very moment of time into fruition. And yes, it is very important to feel the passion and moving in areas and being vocal and using all of the tools that you have been gathering right now. And this isn't just a temporary situation, we would like to advise. This is a struggle as a global unit that will be going on for a few years. Right now, only one is ground zero, as our channel mentioned earlier. But ground zero is important because they are not just one segment of the world. They come from a huge dynamic of all areas of the world. Ground zero is going to have the flow of the ripple in grander and grander waves into all communities, This is to help not only Ground Zero, but everyone on the planet to begin to open their doors of their own hearts in understanding one another in ways they have not allowed themselves to before. And with providing the information in life planning, it is our hope and our goal to make that door completely removed from your societies, from your individualism, so that you will actually look at another and think of your own process of life planning and realize the other person that you are gazing to has done just the same. And it is valued. This will allow you to then begin to use all of the human tools in the physical realm of emotional and mental, spiritual and physical into the nitty-gritty of your lives, and not allow others to keep pouring sand over top of it to disillusion you of your connected. I'm looking for the proper word. We would have to make one up, but I will say for your connected individualism into the grander scales of all forms of connection. You see, and I say this because right now, so many humans see everyone as a far separation from each other and as polarized from one another, as the mental capacity will allow them to build. And it is a building. It is not a reality, it is not a truth, but it is a building that each is doing of their own. And it is fear-based, it is not needed. And we ask everyone, let go of your fear, understand that you chose the role you are in. The script is not complete. You are the writer. We gave a blueprint, a guideline, but it is up to you in the body in how you execute it. And for those who would say, but this is the way it has always been, this is the way it must continue to be, we would say to you, there again lies the choice in your individual aspect in body. You may choose to continue to hold on to those old structures and use them as a barrier in progression. But you also have the power to choose to let go of all of that and begin to see the possibilities that new directions may provide. We would also say to all, we understand your tears. We understand your sorrows, and most of all, we understand your fears. We have not left you alone. We are here supporting you in the game of life that you are so immersed in. we would also say that you are strong in who you are. Many of you chose fabulous, fabulous roles to partake in this great endeavor. Everyone's part is of value, even your adversary. Because guess what? Your adversary is getting you off your ass and motivated into participating into your life, not just within your own home and family unit, but it is pausing and it is motivating you to have more opportunities of connections in ways you would not have ventured before. We are seeing people pulling together in a global manner, and that is the change that we put forth, that you, the volunteers, all of you in body, we consider the volunteers, whether you were ready for that incarnation or not. You knew the fight. You knew the opportunity would present itself. By knowing that you have chosen this time and this place, and these changes also allows you the opportunity to go beyond all that you set forth to begin with, to take it into levels that even we could not foresee. And it is up to you in how that happens. Source is not complacent, and neither are we. We are cheering and we are helping and we are doing what we can. But again, you are the ones that are physical. It is in your hands. Use the choices that you set so greatly in forming and choosing the life role you are in, and take that. Use that to help you to build a better community. The choices are yours. Is there another question?
I don't know if it's a question so much.
But with that said, many people are going to turn to their book of faith. And we would also say that much of what we have shared, when it comes down to the common core, they are no different. Even the various books of faith, when broken down, the human right now is in such turmoil of struggle in their own mental and spiritual physicality. There is such a great paradox going on within, because they're seeing things happening in a global level, and others of power who wield the power and control, and we're not saying those who are appointed in positions of power. It even comes down to even your basic minister or priest. They're giving you only pieces that pertain and their interpretation. And we would say to you, it is time to let go of all of the preemptive understandings and begin to see the base, the basic base of all teachings of faith are that you are all connected and that you are all have a common ground, and that is love. Everyone on the planet, no matter what area they are immersed in, the soul, the spirit, and the body, the life, seeks love in all forms. All teachings of faith come from a love base. Many of the teachings have been misinterpreted and twisted and evolved into other things over time in order to control your societies in very different periods. And we would say it is time to let those go. It is a time right now where the individual can feel empowered in their life in every layer of community and self, from the smallest to the largest scale, individual to global. That when it comes down to removing all the other facades, all the other layers, it comes down to the desire to be loved and accepted. No matter what other teaching, no matter what other experiences they have had, that common core is in every single one of you in the planet. It is in every life plan, every soul contract. That one common factor is within them. It is in how you use it that is different. And the more that everyone can realize that one single common factor, it will allow you to tear down every wall you have ever built that keeps you divided. It does not matter how great or how small. It is that one factor that lives within every one of you. And not just in the humans, but also within the animals, within nature, in all of the living beings on your planet, is that one common factor. It seems like it's got so many strings attached to it. And yet we see it as such a simplistic base of every fabric of tapestry of life. The elders are reminding me of all of the various tapestries. And I laugh and smile because as I look at the various pictures of all of the different lives that we have worked with, all the different time periods in which these struggles have come about and evolved, you as humans, there is not one single tapestry that I look at that did not have the hand of love as its base fabric being weaved throughout it. And yet on earth, all you see is the division. And all I can see, all we can see, is the interwoven connectedness of every tapestry. It's a beautiful picture from our view.
Mm-hmm.
And you as humans do have the ability to view your parts of the tapestry. And if you open your mind and your heart, you can begin to see the others that are connected to yours. Because we would say to you, your tapestry would be incomplete if you didn't have all of the others connected to it. You do not live on an island by yourself. And even if you did, guess what? You would be connected to every element of that island, including the water surrounding it. No. Wouldn't you? There was our dear friend is stepping next to me. Our dear friend is stepping next to me.
Issa?
Yes. And he speaks. There is not a time in your world in which his teachings couldn't be more prevalent than what it is right now. For all of those who are running and grabbing in their fear, we would say, remember my words. I did not sit on the mountaintop and speak just to be heard. I was in the villages. I was in the homes of those who could teach me so much about love. I washed people's feet because I loved them. It was a way of showing them care. I walked miles and miles, not just to preach, but to learn. There was many years of my lifetime before you designated me a Messiah, in which I went to places and I met people and I sat at their tables and I listened to their teachings. And my common ground with them was my heart and their heart and the compassion we could show to one another in understanding the different perspectives and teachings. I became known for teaching about the heart and looking within your one self to see your divinity, to see that source lives inside of you, just as it lived inside of me. And it is in that same aspect that I speak out in this moment to say to you, my words and my teachings were not about division. They were not about judgment. They were about the love for one another that we can show. Even if we do not understand where one is coming from, by sitting at their table, you can understand more in one moment, in one conversation, than anything else that you could read or study. My words were never to be used as a weapon to keep you apart from one another. That was not my mission in that lifetime. And those of you who were there with me, who are in the planet right now, know this. My words, my teachings, my belief, my heart in that time was about removing powers of control and finding the commonality in the heart to understand and bring people together, united from a heart base, and not through what others of control want you to believe. I am still very bound to earth in the work that I do. I work with God, I am not God. I work with the elders, I am not the elders. I am a part of everything, and I am separate, just as you. My messages of love and unity still stand in truth, not in shadow. He feels that that was a strong, powerful message to add. We have many of the others are present today, such as the one who was in body as Mohammed, the Buddha, as you would call him. They both bow their head in acknowledgement. They are present today to show that they are common and together. All of the great teachers who have walked your earth, many were actually much more of philosophers or theologists, and your societies created them into various messiahs of faiths, and they are present today to bring a common message. Because you see, at home with us, in the collective, in the universe, with Source, they are together. They are brothers, they are sisters, they are connected. There is no division between any of them on this side. They are united. Their commonality is love. not love of self, not love of their religions that were birthed from their teachings. Their commonality is love for one another and for everyone who walks this earth, every life form present, from the amoeba to the human, to the elephant, to the grasshopper. And we say this with great love as well, you see, because they are not standing separate saying, your worshippers are yours. They're wrong because mine are mine and I'm right. They're not doing that. That belief is not within our ability nor needed. And if they can show one thing to all of you in body of every faith and diversion, you see them stand together as brothers, hand in hand, brothers and sisters alike. And their unifying voice, their unifying message is love that is common to every single individual. If they are able to present the united common factor of what you created their religions from, then put it into action on the planet. For the Christians who do not understand the Muslim and the Muslim who does not understand the Christian, it is time for you to learn about one another on the common ground of love. You have permission from the masters. You have permission from those you designated as your messiahs to now look to one another, learn about one another, and realize, acknowledge, bring to fruition, and accept that your commonality is love. This is the same for the Buddha, for the Jew, for all designations that are divided. Your teachers stand together in the realm of God as a united common core group of love. Find that. Seek it out. Let go of your fears. Use the ability of communication to build the bridge of common ground that connects you all. And you will see a world birth in the most beautiful way of expression. Because out of this rubble, out of the destruction that you are creating right now, the phoenix that will be birthed from those ashes will come from that common emotion. The one thing you all have in common, your heart and your love and the love of us. That is why we filled the room today. And that is why this information that we have been sharing for all this past year is building up to. The only thing holding yourself back is your own fears and the reflection in your own mirror. And we are here to help you to tear down those very things. Rather than a mirror, why not start putting in some windows? The mirror is very important in order to find that which is within yourself that is common, that is in need of being observed and healed. And once you are able to use that mirror in all of its facets to resolve all of that inner turmoil and conflict, what is exterior of you is the result of what is in your mirror right now. And when you can resolve that, which is within your own reflection, it allows you then to heal those aspects of yourself. And it allows you clear vision of seeing those very aspects within another and be able to help them. And that is when you change the mirror into the window. And remember, a window is able to open, and you are able to reach out to the other person on the other side. And that is where all boundaries, all barriers, all walls of division fall aside and crumble, and they cannot rebuild because they no longer will have substance. If you are needing us to step forward and slap you in the head, you are not going to receive it. And I say that with love because we honor your free will of choice. It is your neighbor, it is your family, it is all of the people you have never acknowledged their existence on your planet that are giving you the slap in the head. And that is where it needs to come from. Not God, not us. God is not going to punish you. God is not going to punish your opponent either. God loves all of you. Source loves all of you. The collective loves all of you equally, without conditions. And it is up to all of you to bring that into your own life. And put it into action. That is taking all of the studies, everything you do home as a spirit and soul, and making it a physical reality, making that lab experiment be a success. The world is a stage. How are you going to play? Yes. It was very important for it to be acknowledged as to the room being full and who all came. Because it is all of the ascended masters that are designated in some form of martyrdom or messiahs, these things, and we are referring to even those such as Plato and such, not just those of religious figures, but even those who have been within the political climate, scientific climate, all the different aspects of human life. These are the people who I've gathered today to add their support and their energy to assist me in bringing forward the message from the elders, to assist me in bringing Isa forward in a way of connection, as well as the Ascended Masters as a collective. And we would appreciate all of us being acknowledged in today's messages, because it is where the common person, when they read the information, is going to understand that they do not see each other as opponents, but actually are together in unity. So not only was it the council, myself, the 4 elders, the collective of 10, but we had the great masters and the great teachers and the great philosophers, people who have put marks in your history and made changes. And guess what? We even, the soul who took the life known as Hitler, the other known as Lenin and Stalin, and even your great George Washington have joined us today in this room. Little one would be a little freaked out about that.
Possibly, yeah.
But you see, we want it to be understood. They played their parts in your history and evolutions and revolutions in order for your societies to evolve into new paradigms you would not have done before. And today we stand together as a united collective to tell you all that it is our unity and your unity that makes the greatest changes. But you must be looking from the perspective of love. That is the one that will give you the greatest benefit. Not to, I'm not saying not to use all of the tools that your human self has. Because we all did. All who are presented here, they used their physical essence in ways to change the world. Even your greatest adversaries, because it motivated the others to come from the space of heart. And that is the commonality. That is the ground zero place for all of you to unite and come together. And that is really our message for today. And that is the message for the book as well. To be able to show the value. You put so much effort into planning your life. If you could put just as much effort in living it and reaching out to your co-participants, it will make amazing things happen.
Very.
And know that we are here. We're not leaving you guys out in the desert. But we are here. And we feel that really brings down to the basic point of all that is transpiring, as well as all of us who are participating, and to show that we are all united in that one commonality